Hello. Okay, so y'all can hear me good. All right. Hey everyone. Hi. Hi. Hope everyone's doing well on this Father's Day. Hope you are all sending out love and peace and happiness to your daddies today. So want to say happy Father's Day to my dad. Hey daddy, love you. And to all those daddies out there, be it human babies, fur babies, whatever kind of babies. So Jason's a great daddy to our fur baby, so he's kind of obsessed with her. He loves that dog. We both do. But yeah, so yeah, and let's say happy well, we've got a new daddy in the family. So to baby Thea, who was born a couple weeks ago, y'all saw the pictures of that cute little thing. So we'll say happy Father's Day to Mitchell and to my other sweetest little boy in the family. His name is MJ. We'll say happy Father's Day to his daddy Steven. So hi. All right. So if you've ever seen the project I made on Baby Lock's website with it's a photo stitch and I can pull it up. It was a Father's Day project and it was actually a picture of Steven and baby MJ. And it looked like they were singing together. It's hysterical. I'll have to pull that up so you guys can see that. That was like my first Father's Day project with Baby Lock. Let me pull that up because it's hilarious and it is on the teaching or create, for projects part. So you can actually make that or it teaches you how to work with the photo stitch in Palette. And also I teach you how to make a photo frame in IQ Designer as well. And it's really cute. But let me pull it up because the picture cracks me up every time. And so let's see. Let's see if I can find it. And then I'll show it to you guys while everyone's joining on. Now, the project we're going to do today can lend itself to anything really, but I thought it'd be a cool project for Dad. Why not? Let's see. Project. Yeah, there's a cool new one that Barb Lewis did on there. Which I'll have to go check out. So sort by. How can I sort? Trying to see if I can look up like palette. If you see me just staring at the screen, I'm doing something here. Oh, I just saw it. I just saw it. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Well, I'll have to dig through here real quick while everyone's joining on, but I hope you're all doing well. Um, it has been a busy few weeks for me. I've been just delving into project after project after project, not only for Baby Lock, but for outside work as well as work, just doing normal work. But I've been doing patches for a company here in town, and that took forever. So that's why I don't take a lot of outside work because, I mean, it really breaks into my sanity. And but this one place I do some stuff for them just because they're nice people and they don't ask a whole I don't do it all the time, but whew, it was a lot of work because it was how many, maybe 10 different patches, but 5 each of each. So you have to get them digitized, which I don't do. I send them off to a digitizer and then I have to turn them into patches. I have to do, which I use my palette to do that, palette 11 to do that. And then you got to stitch them all out. You got to make sure the colors are right. You got to do all this stuff. Got to make sure the customer's happy with the colors. I'll just do that because then you have to remake them if they're not. So, you know, details. So that was a little stressful. Here it is. Okay. Um, let me do a little sharing here and I'll show you guys. I can't see any of your questions or anything right now. But let me do this real quick. See, hopefully y'all can see that. Okay, let's see. Can you see that? So if I click on the picture, so this was a photo stitch. Let me make sure you can see this because y'all know, what was it? If you were in my class last week, oh gosh, it was a nightmare. I totally did not do the correct thing. And okay, let's see here. There it is. Okay, you can see that. Okay, good. So this is the photo stitch. So this was a picture of my nephew, Stephen. He's my nephew-in-law, but he's mine. And when baby MJ was a baby, now he's 3 years old. And baby MJ, Stephen's hilarious. So he was, baby MJ was just looked like he was singing. So daddy thought he would do the same thing. And they took a picture. And so what I did was I turned it into photo stitch. And what's really cool about photo stitch and palette 11 is, do you see all the texture? Like their couch has different colors and it's like checked and all that. I mean, it got all those beautiful, that beautiful detail in there. His shirt is everything. So this was one of the, probably I don't know, it's the only photo stitch I've done. I did 2 of them so they could have one. They were really excited about that. But the photo frame I created in IQ Designer. So you can go there and look up that project and, you know, at least learn 2 different things on that. But so cute. That was one Father's Day thing that I was, Baby Lock let me create for them. And that was a lot of fun. So that's one thing you can do. If you have palette, and let me get myself back to be able to see your questions, and there we go. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah. So anyways, hey, all right. So what are we doing today? Well, this can lend itself to anything really. So I decided to make a pen holder, like kind of like a bookmark pen holder. And you've seen where a while back I had a published bookmark pen holder and it was all sewn. There was no embroidery to it or anything. And you can go find that on my website. And I believe I still have, you know what? I don't know if I have it up on my website because I had to turn it over. It was in the Quilter's Planner. I think I had to turn it over to my stuff. I will get it up there soon. But anyways, what I forgot to do something on this one, but what I thought we would do is quickly make one in IQ Designer. So I thought this would be a cute gift for dad because he can put it on his notebook or his, you know, if he's reading, if he annotates when he reads or anything like that, he could just strap it on, you know, with a piece of elastic. Well, the elastic's supposed to be on this, my sample one, but it's not. So my sample one, I just used some cork, and I forgot to put the elastic in, but let me hold it a little close to you. That's terrible. So it's just really quick and easy. I use the built-in shape. I didn't do any fills. I want to do fills on the one for dad. But it's just really quick and easy to make. And we're going to add an elastic piece so you can actually put it on a notebook and you can make it as wide as you want, honestly, because if you want to be able to put like 3 or 4 pens in there or something like that. And I just chose one of my favorite type of pens to put in there. So that way, I measured it off of that pen. So, there's all type of pens. If you like those pens, or maybe you get someone one of those pens that's really thick, you know what I mean? Like the really beautiful round big ones. You may want to make the width a little bit larger if you're, wider, because of the width, or you just don't want it too tight, I guess I should say. So this was my first time making it, and I literally made it at 4 o'clock this afternoon, because y'all know me, last minute girl here. I had it in my brain for a couple days. However, I didn't do it until 4 o'clock today. So, but the one I'm going to do for dad is, what I'm going to be using is a piece of embroidery leather. This one is by Kimberbell, and I thought I had this beautiful blue. And what I thought I would do with this, and you can do this on any of that vinyl, they call it leather, or whatever, like quartz. I had some quartz to play with, and I'm really mad at myself for not getting the elastic in there. So on this one, we're actually going to put fills on there, but I'm going to make it look masculine. The only color of elastic I had is white, but at least, it's not, navy and white kind of go together, or blue and white go together. So yeah, let me turn this off so it doesn't die. Okay. Um, so, this is just going to be one of my samples anyways. So what you need is, I'm going to go based off of this size of pen that I have. One of my favorite pens are these Sharpie pens. Usually I have them in black, but when I take notes, I have different colors. And so I grabbed that and I measured it. And it measured, let me measure it again. So, and I'm just doing the length, because I don't know how to measure the roundness, because, I failed that part in school. I went to Florida schools. It's about 5 7/8 long. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, I want it to be long enough to fit in there and not stick out over the edge like that. So I thought, well, I'm just going to add some onto it. And there was no math involved. It was literally just thinking, okay, what about 6.5 for the length? Okay. So I made this one 6.5 inches in length. And then I thought about, well, how wide do I need it to be? So I decided that 1.5 inches would be wide enough. And it really is. At first I was like, that's going to be scary. I don't know if that's going to be the right. Do I need to do 2 inches? Do I need to do, but 1.5 inches was perfect. There's a lot of wiggle room in there. I could possibly even fit one more pen in there if I needed to. So, yeah. So basically what you're going to have is a front and a back. We're going to create our shape. We're going to create our opening, and we're just going to do some steps here. What else? Okay. So what stabilizer am I using? Y'all are not going to believe this, because you know me, I always use a cutaway for everything I do, right? I'm using a tearaway. And the reason why I'm using a tearaway is, number one, I know it's going to stay inside, and I always tell y'all I don't like it because it's going to stay inside, but this material is thick enough that it's not going to, if it's crunchy, it doesn't really matter. But I was able to, before I trimmed it, pour it out in between these two layers. I didn't do like an applique. I actually left a little edge when I trimmed it, about 1/8 of an inch, but I was able to tear it out between these two layers, so you have none showing. So I thought that would be kind of interesting to try that. And I really like that idea. So we're going to do it that way. But if you want to do cutaway, totally fine. But I don't use my tearaway as much as I should. And this one is actually Baby Lock's, I forgot the whole name of it, but it's basically a washable tearaway. Have you ever used that? So a washable tearaway, and this is a really cool tearaway. So what is it good for? Let's think about like towels or clothing or something like that. If we needed it to be a little extra hold, or a little extra. Maybe we wanted to float it under the hoop because everything's super duper dense. Our embroidery is super duper dense. And we're using a cutaway. You can use it as a regular tearaway too, but basically what's going to happen is half of it's going to wash away, but half of the fibers are going to stay in there for stability. So I think, and this is just the one I grabbed. I know these aren't going to be washed, but this is the one I grabbed. But what I like about this one is it tears away super duper easily. So you can see I'm tearing it and it just tears nicely. That's why I chose it for this. So, but that's a cool little tidbit about washable tearaways. They do make them, and Baby Lock makes them, and I'm so happy they do because they're really super cool. Okay, awesome. So what we're going to do, like we normally do, is just jump on over to the machine. I've got my elastic. I've got my, did I already loot? No, it's in my lap. And I just cut 2 big hunks of this, I guess Kimberbell calls it embroiderable vinyl leather. I don't know what they call it really. But basically, you can find this anywhere. Zandra Shaw sells some beautiful embroiderable leathers or vinyl leathers. I don't know what they're called. And Kimberbell does too. Kimberbell's is nice and lightweight. So look them up. And again, if you want to use cork, use cork. The cork stitches so beautifully. So if you haven't made like a cork bag or something and put a design on it, I mean, it's so beautiful. Okay. So what we're going to do, excuse me for my throat. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is just switch over to the camera here and we're going to get started. And let me know if you have, that's the wrong thing. Let me know if you have questions. Oh, this was my finished one. I never even changed the screen, did I? Well, let me do this real quick, guys, because I did some spots on Hoop Fest this week, and what they use wouldn't let me do this. So let me change up a little bit. It's okay. Close your eyes if you get dizzy. That's going to go sideways. That's upside down, isn't it? There we go. There she is. I'm pretty sure, is that correct? Yes, okay. All right. We close that. And we're going to zoom in a little bit here to get all straight and pretty-ish, pretty-ish. Keep those little lines that show up. I like to tweak it where it doesn't have that. I don't know if y'all can see them, but I can see them on mine, and it's annoying to me. I wonder if doing this helps in. Nope. No button. That may make it worse. Okay. Well, I think we're just going to have to live with that. Okay. Well, all right. So if we're looking at the screen right now, basically this was when I stitched out the other one. So what I need to do is just close out here. And no matter which machine you are on, we're just going to jump to IQ Designer down here at the bottom, or whichever machine you're on. You're going to want to select IQ Designer. Now I do have my grid on, and how you turn your grid on, excuse me, is you are going to come up to, or wherever you can find it, is this little piece of paper right up here with a little dog ear. That is called your settings key. So we want to click on that, and you want to look for the area or the little area that says embroidery frame display. Now I keep mine generally on the biggest. Now this is going to take a 5x7 hoop. If you want to put it on the 5x7, that's fine. But we're going to keep everything centered, so it really does not matter if you turn the 5x7 hoop on. I just leave it at the biggest setting. The next thing is the grid. Here's your grid right here, and I turned it to 1 inch. So you can have it with no grid or 1 inch or 3/8 of an inch. I understand 1 inch better than 3/8, so I'm going to select that. And then I'm going to select OK. So what's next here? What is that box? Give me just a second. What is that? Oh, never mind. It wasn't 10 and 5/8, but 10. Okay, regard. It doesn't matter. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the shape I want. And I kind of liked how this ended up. It's kind of this weird, like, I don't know what to call it shape. You can do it square, you can do it whatever you want. But what I did is I came down to our shapes key right here, and I clicked on it. And I came up to our squoval. I call that a squoval. I know that's the funniest word, but in hairdressing, we we came up with words. And so where squoval came from, and you're going to be like, what? Is when we would shave a man's neck, and usually they would say, I want it squared or rounded. And but some would say I want it as square. I would want it square but with rounded edges. And we're like, what? It made absolute no sense. So we made up this word called squoval. I know it's silly, but it still makes no sense to anybody, but we just laughed at it and thought it was funny. So this is a square with rounded edges. So I call it a squoval. So we're going to click on this and then say, okay. If my friend Dusty were watching right now, she would crack up. She would know exactly what I'm talking about. So there is my square rounded edges, or my swivel. And what I'm going to do right now, I have my red box around it. And what that means is it's selected. And if you're new to this, if you accidentally touch off, the red box goes away, and then we can't do anything with it. So you're just going to select the back button once, and it'll highlight it again. So now we're going to go to size, and we're going to do everything unproportionally. So these two are your proportional buttons, but what we're going to use are your unproportional buttons right here. So if you need to zoom in, that's fine. I'm going to zoom in. You're not going to see the edges, but when I start changing the size, you'll start to see it. So I'm going to start using my width, and I'm going to bring it in to about 1.5 inches. And you'll see that bottom number. So see it? Here we go. And I'm going to go to about 1.5 inches. Oh, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. I actually changed that when I was thinking. Let me go back on that. It wasn't 1.5. I actually decided when I was doing this, at first it was 1.5. Actually went to 1 3/4. I'm sorry. But 1.5 would work. But if you wanted to fit, like this one would fit 2 pins. But actually I did 1 3/4. I can't believe I forgot that. But yeah, so I'm going to do 1 3/4 in the width. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the height or the length, and it's at 619 right now, but I had decided earlier that I wanted it to be 6.5. So I'm just going to push this up to about 6.5. That's good enough for me. And then I'm going to say okay. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and save it to memory. And of course, I saved to my machine just because material. Hey, Kathy. From everywhere. Okay, so there she is. Now I saved it because I don't want to lose it and I don't want to have to go through that all again. So next, what I'm going to do is my very first stitch is going to be the placement stitch, and it's going to stitch directly on the stabilizer. So I just need it to be a running stitch. So I'm going to come up to my line properties. This is this first grouping of 4 icons up here. I'm going to select a line stitch. I'm sorry, a running stitch, excuse me. And I'm going to select a color. You do not have to select a color. I just like to see things separated out. It helps me. I'm going to turn on my bucket and I'm going to take my finger, whatever, and tap the line. And you'll see it's very light, probably on your screen. Oh my gosh, that screen. Let me see what it looks like to you guys. Because if it looks as bad as what I'm seeing, then I should be embarrassed. Yeah, it does. Okay. Let me see if I can adjust that a little bit. See, what I'm doing is, I wonder if it's the camera that's doing this. I should probably, this is my camera. Usually, a lot of times I work off of my, oh, that did not work. Off my phone. So, well, let me do a darker color so maybe we can see this a little bit better. There we go. And I'm just going to pop the grid off for just a moment. So you can see, you can kind of see. Let's do this. I think what I'm going to do is see if I feel like you aren't getting a good. I'm going to quickly, and this only takes a second, change it over to, let's see if this is going to give us a better view. My phone camera. It only takes me a second to do this. You're going to see a pop there, and this might be much. I mean, it's brighter, definitely. Still might have those wiggly lines, but not as bad, huh? I mean, I don't. Well, we're trying here. Okay. Anyways, I tried. Okay. So we have our shape. We have saved it. So now, and we've changed it to a running stitch. Now we're just going to select next. And if once you're at this screen, what you're going to do is just hit set OK. Now, if you're on an Altair Meridian, you're going to hit preview OK, set OK. And there we go. Now we're going to select the word add, and we're going to select IQ Designer wherever it is on your screen. And we're going to recall that one design, that last design. And remember, mine takes a long time because I have a lot of stuff saved in here. So the last one I had saved is right here. And then OK. And it's going to recall that one for me. So let's zoom in so we can see that. Kind of good, kind of okay. All right, so I am going to go turn that grid back on. And this is really why I wanted to use my grid. Because I'm going to put that little cutout so I can slide my pen in. And what I used for that was just, let's see, we're going to go to my shapes. And I just used this little guy right here. Okay. And then I selected OK. And it comes in super duper big. So let's turn off that so you can see it very good there. So it comes in very, very big. And what I'm going to do is go to my size key. And what I did not do is measure the size that I changed it to, or write it down. So what I'm going to do is use my proportionally smaller key and get it down pretty good there. I'm going to turn my grid back on. I just wanted y'all to be able to see that. And I'm going to move it somewhere. So you can see here, this is about a quarter. This little guy's about in the quarter area. And then I have a full inch right here. I'm going to move it somewhere right in the middle of this inch area. So I'm just going to come up. And if you're nervous about that, you can move it down or whatever. All right, so now I'm going to squish it a little bit by using my width key. So I don't need it very, very big, really, to be honest with you. And then I'm going to stretch it out just a little bit. And there we go. And now I just have a little opening. I could even make it littler, you know what I mean? I could have even, let me go click my back button. I could even make it smaller if I wanted to. I just didn't want it to be hard to slip a pin through there. So, you know, it's up to you. So you can see that came out to about 0.26 by 1.11. All right, so I need to tell it both of these what type of stitch to be, because you can see it always defaults to a satin stitch. So let's click on that and let's select the running stitch again. And I'm going to select the bucket. Oh, excuse me. Let's go get a color. Let's do dark purple. Excuse me. So I'm going to select that again, but I'm only going to tap the outside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and do the triple stitch, select OK, and now I'm going to tap the inside one. That's going to be a good reinforcement stitch there. It's going to be really, really tight around there. So when I'm slipping pins in and out of there, you know, it'll be a little bit stronger right there. So the next thing I'm going to do is just, well, at this point, we can add our fill. So how about we do that? So that way you could save this, drag it over, whatever, but we're going to go ahead and just add our fill at this point. So this is where we get to have fun, right? Make sure there's no questions. Hey, Trudy. Let me do something here. All right. Okay. A wet winter's day. Isn't that interesting that over in New Zealand, it's winter and here it's hotter than hot? We even went swimming yesterday. Well, I mean, I should say we even went swimming. We went swimming yesterday. It was nice and toasty. Okay, so let's we can now take off our grid. I was just using it for that placement. So let's take off our grid. And now let's grab a fill. So we're going to come into this little, into the next little grouping of 4 icons and click on that. And let's go check out our fills. Now we have tons of fills. You know, if you have the Solaris, you can use the Design Suite fill. If you have palette 11, you could design this totally in palette 11 and use those fills. You can use Design Suite fills in there. But I was actually more thinking like this Argyle type of, or, you know, crisscross, whatever. So that's exactly what I was thinking. So I want to select OK. And then I'll select a color. Purple. I'll do the lighter purple. And then I'm just going to turn on my bucket and click in this inside of it. Now what I want to do is select next. And look how pretty that is. That's already really nice. I really like that, but I think I want my crisscrosses to be just a hair smaller. So I'm going to go into my size and I'm going to try 80% and just see what that looks like. Oh, way happier with that. Okay. So then I am going to go ahead, and even though I already have an outline on, I am going to turn on my outline. Now, Meridian and Altair, you do not have to do that step. Yours is already turned on. So it will be like a double. That's okay on this. This material will take it just fine. That keeps it from, if you have the outline on, it keeps it from stopping and tying off each time it, you know, ends at a point. So we want one continuous motion. So now what we're going to do is select set. Okay. Super cute. It's going to be adorable. And yeah, I'll get back. Now what we're going to do is select add, and then IQ, we're almost done. And now we're going to recall that design again. Now you could have saved that other, the last design if you wanted to, the last shape with the opening. That way you could make more. And I just forgot to do that. So I'm going to grab this shape and then okay. And I'm just going to do a satin stitch to close it off, to be the last finishing stitch. You could do whatever you wanted. So we're going to go to our line properties again. And again, you can choose anything you want, you know. If you wanted to do one of these decorative ones, like that would be kind of cool. You know, if I didn't have, I think it would be too much if I have the fill in there, but that would be really cool if I didn't have the fill in there. You know, that looks kind of manly, you know. The Greek key would be cool. Oops, those are my so I'm going to say okay, but really I'm just going today to use a satin, and I'm just going to select a color. It doesn't matter what color. Remember, I just like mine separated out. That's all. I'm going to turn on my bucket and I'm going to tap my line and then next. So I did want to widen mine up a little bit, but it was literally just a hair. So I went to 120.120 because I like a thicker stitch, but it did, or excuse me. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not, yeah. Okay, so I changed the width. You could change the density. You really don't need to on this. But there it is. It's just a little bit thicker, or a little bit wider, I should say, not thicker. And again, on the Solaris, it's going to show real time. If you're changing that and you're on Altair Meridian, what you want to do is hit preview okay, look at it and see if that's wide enough for you. If it's okay, you're going to hit set okay. But if it's not, what you're going to do is hit return and then change it. So we're going to hit set okay. And there we go. Now we're ready to stitch this little cutie pie out. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to take you guys right over here. And this is why I think I'm going to go ahead and get the other camera, because I can get in really good with the other camera on this one. There she is, just hanging off to the side. Y'all get to see my mess. Hey, mess, over here. All right, there we go. And I am actually going to churn this a little bit. So if you get dizzy, close your eyes. Gonna go upside down. Oh, guess I should turn it the right way. So yeah, that's upside down. We want it to go the right way. There we go. Much, much better. Okay, cool. So I've got my machine threaded. I'm using like a navy-ish thread. I've got my stabilizer too. And now I'm going to do the first. Let me close something here. Now I'm going to do the very first stitch here, which is just the placement stitch. So let's come in a little bit to that so you can see that. Darken it up a little bit. There you go. All right, here we go. And remember, our running stitch is always, Trudy, what is it? It's a pin holder. You'll see, it's pretty cool. So, what was I saying? I don't remember. That's okay. Oh, with the running stitch, it always goes around twice. I get that question all the time. Can we change that? No. But what you can do is stop it when it comes up to here. If you don't want it to go around twice, I just let it go around twice. Especially if I'm doing something like applique, because I always want it to go around twice to hold the fabric in place before I trim. That is my jam. I need it to do that because you always want it to kind of go around twice to hold an applique down. Okay, perfect. Now, here's the thing I forgot to do first. Okay. I should have made little, you know what? We should, and what I didn't think about is I should have made little, oh, you know what? Maybe we should go back and do that. Because at this point, we actually could make little lines up here to attach our elastic. Should we do that? I think we should. We can actually go back and do that. So why don't we? So let me go back here. Okay. So even though we've started embroidering, no big deal. We haven't moved anything. We've left it in the center. So we're going to hit return because we can skip that process. We're going to select add and we're going to go to IQ. And what we're going to do is recall that last shape. And this is actually a good little thing to show you guys if you thought, well, hey, you know, I really wanted to add something and I forgot to. There is a little trick though, especially with the Altair Meridian owners and the Solaris, I think 1 and 2 owners, maybe. Can't remember if the 2 has this on it, that you're going to have to do. But what I'm going to do is I recalled the shape. I'm going to select this key right here and I'm going to say, okay, that is your no-sew. So at first we want to select that. We're going to turn on our bucket and we're going to tap our shape. Let's zoom in. So we're just using this as a boundary right now. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come to our line properties and we're going to select this little guy right here. And we're going to select the running stitch. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and I'm going to bring my top down here. And I'm going to click that. And I'm going to draw a line. It could be a short little one, like right here. So I'll do it a little bit below so you can see it and I'll fix it here in a minute. So what I'm going to do is if you're using a mouse, a stylus, whatever, your finger, you're just going to click. Oh, wait, I got to turn it on. It's right here. Make sure you turn, oh, sorry. Make sure you turn that on by clicking that. You're going to click, press, or whatever, and you're going to see a little red dot, and you're going to see your line go straight across, right? So then I'm going to let go, and there's my line. But I'm actually going to do this up here, okay? So I'm going to, wait a second, did that? Hold on. I just want to make sure that this did what it's supposed to. Okay, so now, okay, it did. Do that. And I'm going to do a different color just so I can make sure that I did what I was supposed to do. So again, we're going to turn on this line. We're just going to draw a straight line, let go. And honestly, what I could do is come down to my selection key down here and just draw a little box around it and it will select it. And now I can go to my, wherever my size key is and use the move tools and move it right up. That way I can see where it's going to hit. Even if it's a little bit below, no worries. We could actually also do this. We can go in and select this little guy right here. I'm going to turn it a little bit. This is your duplicate key. So tap on that. It's going to bring another one right there. Let's zoom out. Got to move this down. And you can barely see the background of my little guy or my shape. And that's okay. Don't worry about that. If you can't see it on the screen, it's there, I promise. So what I'm going to do is select size again, just because I want to use the move keys. I'm going to select the center key and I'm going to bring it all the way down to the bottom edge there. And these are going to be my tack down for my elastic pieces. Now, I should have did that earlier, but I didn't even think about it, right? So I'm going to select next. And you can see on the screen, there's just 2 little lines. And we're going to select set, okay. Okay, so what I want you to notice, and you can barely see them right here, they're going to be on the last step. And for you Altair Meridian owners, that's what's going to happen. And in order to use those, if you stopped and did what I did, if you didn't include them in, you know, after the first step, what you are going to do is you're going to use your plus minus key and you're going to go down to them after the first stitch, and then you're going to stitch those next. But I'm going to show you how to stitch them. Don't just stitch them. You're going to put your elastic piece down. Okay. But if we have this button on your Solaris machine right here, if you don't, you would have to do it the other way, the way I just showed you. But if you have this button right here, it came with one of the upgrades, then what you want to do is select that. And it's hard to see, but you can see the little lines right there. That is that stitch. I can take that and start moving it up to where it belongs. So it would belong in between the first stitch and this little guy right here. So I'm going to move it up 1, up 2, and now it's good to go. So I'm going to select embroidery. Now we've already stitched out this first piece right here. So I want to go to this next one. So I'm going to go to my plus minus and go down 1. And there are my 2 little tack on thingies. Hope that made sense. I hope that makes sense. So, all right. So let's jump back over. And there we go. So what I'm going to do right now is I measured my book or book holder, or not my book holder, my actual book. I wanted to put this around. And this one came out to be, I measured the perfect, this one was about 9.5. This is the book that I measured. Now, what I didn't do is I only did one side with it having a little bit of hangover. So let me see. So that way it's going to be nice and snug when it goes around this book. So if you see what I mean, I don't really know how to mathematically judge that by just, but besides just kind of playing with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is, now that we've got those little marks, I'm going to take this piece right here and grab some tape. Where is it? And I'm going to cut off a couple pieces here. Just get them ready. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. And I'm going to hold it into place with my tape. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. And I'm going to kind of flip it up like that. Hold it in place. Now you're probably going, okay, well, how's that going to get around it? Well, this is what you want to do. You want to take a piece of tape and kind of hold it out of the way. And it might take a little bit of finagling, but we can do that. We can finagle. So first I'm going to lay a piece of tape here. And after it's stitched, then I can hold it down a little. So this is where I want you to be careful, but you may have to kind of hold it out of the way up top here. So let's stitch it down. Wait, no, stop. Bring that up. Bring your foot up. This one is being a brat. Let me take that tape up. Let me grab a new piece of tape because that's tearaway and it likes to stick. All right, Bratty Poo. That out of the way. So nothing like watching Anna flail. There we go, much better. Okay, so now I'm just going to hold this and my hand out of the way, and we're going to tack those down. Perfect. Now it's going to be down here, so I'm going to kind of do the same. Kind of hold that out of the way. Let it tack it down. And then we can tape those out of the way after it's tacked down. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now what I want to do is kind of get these laid out of the way. Which I can. I can do whatever. Y'all doing all right out there? I'm going to cut another couple pieces here. And the tape I use is, it's one of my favorite tapes. It is the Oriani Embroidery Perfection Tape. I've always called it the pink perfection tape just because I don't know why. So it is pink, that's probably why, but for some reason I always thought it was actually called pink perfection tape. So, all right. So see how I've kind of got those folded out of the way and down. So now they're out of my way. I can take my blue piece and place it down, or my whatever piece. And I don't really need to tape this down. If you feel more comfortable doing it that way, go right ahead. I do have, if I can find it, where's my mermaid one? This is a Xandra Shaw product. I do have my mermaid one that I can hold it down with, so I'm gonna just use the small side. So I'm just gonna do that. I love this little guy. It looks like it's gonna start with the yeah, that's what it's gonna do. It didn't start with the outline, it's starting with the middle stitching first. Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna let it do its business right there. If you have any questions, let me know while we're going along. Yeah, that's gonna look really nice. Let's get in there. Kind of in there. So I've been thinking I'm gonna start taking our maybe starting with this one, taking our lives, and after I'm done with them, placing them on YouTube so they would be easy to find if you are looking for them. I haven't been really good on my list, as you know. But if I save it to YouTube, you can just go to straight to YouTube, and that's all that's going to be on there. There's no post in between, nothing like that. Yeah. There's nothing, crazy like that. So you can just literally look through my YouTube channel and find um the video you're looking for. And maybe eventually, I mean, it would take a long time, but get some older ones up there. But I'm really toying with that idea because I think it would just be an easier place for you to find everything if you're looking for something super quickly. And it also give a broader audience to be able to see what we do, see what fun they're missing in our group. I do want to talk to y'all about another class that I'm going to do we've already done this class, but I want to do it again because it was so much fun to me. That I'm going to be doing in July. It'll be like another Saturday class. We'll do it through Zoom. So I've just got to get the sample out before we leave today. I'll definitely tell you about it. And then I'll have it uploaded here this week. But it's basically an in the hoop, kind of in the hoop zipper bag. You have to do a little bit of sewing. I might tweak it a little bit. But to see it, no, we still have to do it. Yeah. There might be a little bit of sewing involved, but it's a really cute little zipper bag that we made gosh, a couple years ago in a class that I did. Some of you might have already taken the class. Okay, so this is just going to be the first outline that so it's just going to go around it again, basically. But I love how that diagonal crisscross looks. That looks so nice. Now, when it comes to that opening, remember we had changed that to a triple stitch, so it's going to do a triple stitch there. So it's just going to be a little extra protection. You see how it's going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's just a little extra stability there. Now you could have done a satin stitch right there, if you wanted to, but it's going to be a little bit harder to cut. We could have kind of treated it like an applique actually. But at this point, let me zoom out. What we're going to do is let's brighten that up a little bit so you can see when I get to it here. So at this point, we're going to remove this from the hoop, or excuse me, from the machine. Don't remove it from the hoop, because what we're going to do is flip it around and we're going to take that tearaway out from the opening there. I don't think of it like a zipper. Oh, you know what? I forgot to remove the tape. Well, it's in there. I forgot to remove the tape from the what was holding the elastic down. No biggie. It's in there. It's just gonna be part of it. So, okay. So I'm gonna remove the stabilizer real quick. Right here. Get rid of some of the threads. Oh, that's because the tape is right there. I'm like, why are you being difficult? We're gonna trim the tape away. That's why it's being difficult. Let me get my finger up. Actually, let me get these scissors. I love these scissors. This will get really close. These are actually appliques. They're Famor appliques. I have so many different scissors. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it around and I am going to go ahead and trim this out. You want to do it at this point or you're really going to have a hard time doing it. You're really going to have a hard time doing it when the back piece is on. So I'm just going to kind of pierce it and then just start cutting around. Kind of hard to do at this angle, so it may not be super pretty, but that's okay. These have got a nice little tip on them that, yeah. Oh, there's some tape. Hey, tape. Doing that. Don't forget to remove you. Being very careful not to cut the stitching. Very good. Stitching. Okay. Oh, let me turn it a little bit this way and then we'll get that bottom portion. Sounds like someone's back from fishing. Is Ronnie, are you on here? If you are, say hey. There we go. So there's my little opening. Okay. All right. So the last thing that we're going to do is we are going to take the backing piece and we're going to lay it over top there and we're going to tape it in place. So I'm just going to take my piece. Now I always cut my tape. Okay, this is probably too big. Because if I tear it, and this is going on the bottom of my bed. Usually what happens is if you tear it, you have these little pieces that are like, zigzag and they like to come up when it's going across the bed. So I like to cut it straight. One more piece. I'm going to take it to the top here. And I smooth them down really, really good. Now I'm going to place it back onto the machine. And the last step, now what I probably should have done was put a bobbin on with the same top thread. So on the back it would be, nice and pretty. I'm just making sure that this elastic's out of the way. So it would be nice and pretty on the bottom, but I'm not going to really worry about that right now. Oh, I just saw that my thread was out of my needle, so let's get her threaded. Oh, I gotta love that. Never miss needle threading. So let's get that really quickly. And we are almost done. I love the texture. Now, you may notice my machine goes a little slower because I always stitch at a slower speed. It's just me. You can stitch at whatever speed you like. I'm just nervous. I have that nervous energy, so I like to stitch slower. Thread really, it's really good matching. I did good on the matching of the thread. But again, you could, make this for anybody. Make them for yourself, especially if you're a reader or if you're study or for a student. These would be great. Probably gonna be making these, quite a bit of these for myself. I just got accepted into a new program. And I am just some new news. In August, we'll be studying to become a surgical technician. So I will need little bookmarks and stuff like that. Super excited. I hope I have enough bobbin. I should have enough bobbin. There we go. And then it's looking really, really good. Mickey, I'm always busy. I just, I can't leave myself alone. I cannot leave myself alone. I exhaust myself. Thank you, Trudy. But never too busy for you guys. Now, what we really could have done, now looking at the pink tape, and it's not because, there's pink tape there. We also could have done a satin stitch, you could have done a satin stitch around that after you trimmed it. So let's say we put like a single stitch down, we trimmed it, and then came back and put a satin stitch there. That would have been really cool looking as well. So there's so many different things, like as I'm going along making these, thinking, oh, there's other things I can do. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like so many other cool things that would look really good. All right. So I'm going to take this off the hoop or out of the hoop. I'm going to flip it back. Well, no, I don't have to flip it back to me just yet. So I'm just going to remove it right now real quick. And then we'll just kind of do it right here. Okay. So here she is. I'm actually going to remove all the tape right here first. Now, if you're using a tearaway, generally you can't reuse this tape because it likes to stick to it. And let's go ahead and remove the tape from here too. Now you could have made that a little bit. Oh, good. That did great. Okay. So now what I can do, see what I was saying is I can actually remove this stabilizer from the in there, and there won't be any in between when I go to trim it. A lot of times, I'll have stabilizer in there, but I'm just thinking, oh, well, this is kind of an idea. Okay, so got that. And now I'm just going to trim around it. Scissors here. And just being very careful about my elastic piece. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do just really close, literally about an 8/16 of an inch, something really tiny. I don't need a whole lot. If I was doing this for me, I might even do pinking shears because, I'm super girly. Depending on the material I was using. Around the corner here. And this is probably about right here's where I'm going to stop. I'm going to just lift up this piece and then I'll come and make sure I'm above my elastic piece. So this is the part that's going to be a little bit more, So how about I cut, get some of that off. Should I do it from the back? Let me cut the other long side off. Maybe that's going to make me feel better. Get that other long side off. That's out of the way. And then I can work on those ends. You could even, like on this straight edge, just use a rotary cutter. And there we go. Now we just have some little. Okay. So now we can just go in here and come from, let's say, the back area. So and I can clean up those little points here. Flip it around. Kind of match it up. I'm going to pull down that little guy there. That's not too bad. And then clean these little edges up and make it a little bit more rounded. Oh, I don't want to clean that. That's maybe get a pair of tiny scissors in there and clean those edges up. Do the same thing on this side. It's really, I'm just going straight across up here, but let's do this side. Following. Look at that roll. That's that rounded better. That rounded a lot better on that side. But let's see. Let me try to. I'll fix that later. But now let's see if it fits my. Oh, I didn't even twist the thing. Let's see. I'm gonna flip it over to me. Let's see if it fits my book. Flips my book. Fits my book. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's just try it on my book. Oh my God, that's perfect. Ah, look how cute. And then I'm gonna. Where's my pen? Well, I have this pen here. So actually, one of my friends would love this because it's orange and blue. Because that's a football team here in town, or a college team. But look how cute. So see, I need to clean it up some, but look at that pretty stitching there. Something, and you can see that that's really quick and easy. Mickey, that is so funny. Let me, I don't sleep, Ronnie. Mickey, that is so funny because Jason said we can practice in the kitchen when he's cooking, which he never cooks, but he could be like spatula, spatula. I'll have to tell him you said that though, because he'll think that's funny. Don't hand him the embroidery scissors. But how cute is that? I wish you could see the stitching a little bit better through the camera, but it looks so good. So that is something you can make for dad or anybody you want. Could you make it out of fabric? Yeah, you could probably, it'd be cute is if you quilted a piece, it front and back, we could quilt it, using our fills, and it would just be a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, but you could really do that. I would use cutaway So that way it's easy to slide in and out. And yeah, so I think that came out really adorable. You could use a different shape if you wanted to, of course. But I'm actually quite happy with this one. I really like this one. I wish I had made it last. I might have to just like stitch a little last. I'll just make another one. I'm just kidding. But I love the cork. I think the cork came out beautiful. I didn't want to quilt it because do you see the gold in there? I didn't want it to take away from that. So the cork one I think is really cute. So if you want to make a cute little fun gift, especially for someone going back to school or maybe a book reader or something like that, maybe you're giving them a book, you can just put it on the book, maybe put their initial on it, put their name, something like that. I think that would be a really great idea. So yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining me again tonight. And like I said, I'm thinking about taking these over to YouTube so they will be easier to find. If you don't have a YouTube account, do you even have to have a YouTube account? I don't even think you do to watch YouTube. I could be wrong, but you can always just, go over there. I'll make sure you know where to go. I'll post it on here. You can just click on the link, go over there and watch it. But I think that's going to be an easier way to find the videos. I'm just broadening my range to make things easier for everybody. So thank you, Kathy. So thank you all for coming in today. Yeah, Jackie, me too. I love YouTube. I've learned so much from just watching, and it's on anything like cooking or I don't know, silly stuff, like how do I make a pillow backing? I mean, stuff like that. Like I'm like, or how do I make this better? You know what I mean? Like I've learned so much cool stuff. So, well, I hope you guys have a great week. I sure will, Mickey. So I will see you guys next Sunday. You know, if you want, leave me a comment on here or just in the group if there's something you want to see. That really does help me. Um, you know, I like doing the question answers because then y'all can kind of tell me what you want to see, what you want to know, all that. Oh, let me find the sample real quick. I should have pulled it out beforehand. But this is what I'm going to do next. You're going to see my head here for a second. I just got to find it. Excuse me. I'll be right back. You're going to hear me huffing and puffing for a second. Those. Here somewhere, I promise. Nope, that's not it. That's it. I keep all my samples below me here, but trying to so I can pull something out quickly. But pulling it out quickly is not really an option. Well, where are you? Ooh, I need to hang that back up. And then you get to listen to me talk to things like I'm not even here. Okay, well, let's see, real quick. I really want to show you guys. Aha. Were you really on top the entire time? Okay. So it was on top the entire time. Okay. Okay. So we did a class on this a couple years ago, but I would like to do it again because we've had so many new followers. So a lot of this we did in the hoop, like making the front part with the zipper and doing the inside part with the design and fills and all that fun stuff. And now I know a way how to attach binding in the hoop. So I'm thinking if I can figure out how to do that, then we might do that with this. So I do want to bring this class back. We will do it on a Saturday. And yeah, so if you're interested in that, I'm going to be posting that within a week. And we'll just do another Zoom class, but that's going to be in July. Okay. All right, everyone. I love this one. It's so cute. I don't ever use the things I make, but this is a sample, but I love that design. I can't remember if that is in the Meridian. I think this is in the Meridian. But yeah. Okay, everyone. Well, I hope y'all have a great week, and I will see you all next week. And yeah, remember to shop local, shop small. Bye, everyone.